Not everything is for everybody, especially in the firearm world. There's a lot of things out there that folks dig, some people just don't care for. And here we are, we're talking about the Hi-Point 3095 carbine and 30 super carry. Hey y'all, what's going on? It's Hunter Elliott, rangehot.com. Hope everybody's doing well. So this is brand new from Hi-Point, just released a couple days ago. We've had it a couple months now doing our review, and I've got a lot of things to talk about, so let's get started. First thing I want to show you is the 10-round detachable box magazine is out. I have locked the bolt to the rear. I've ensured the chamber is empty, so we know the firearm's safe to talk about. However, I still keep it pointed downrange. Let's go over the specifications first real quick. So the overall length is 31 inches. The weight is 6.25 pounds. Length to pull is 14.5 inches. The barrel is 16.5 inches, and it is threaded on the end 1/2 by 28, which is the most common thread pitch for any kind of 9mm accessory. It has Picatinny rails on the receiver, which is 8.5 inches long, forearm Picatinny rail, which is 5 inches, and it has a 5.5 pound kind of a two-stage trigger, and the MSRP is $339. So it's essentially what you've come to expect for the Hi-Point carbine in 30 Super Carry. Now, what is the 30 Super Carry? Well, I'll be honest with you. When Hi-Point first reached out to me about reviewing this, I didn't know much at all about that cartridge. So with some education, I took some time, I've learned enough to where I'm kind of understanding where they're coming from on this carbine. It's going to land somewhere between the 380 auto and the 9mm when it comes to terminal ballistics. So you got that gap, it's bridging. However, it's closer to the 9mm than the 380. But a lot of people are going to say, well, why bother? Why would you bother creating a carbine in that cartridge? It's brand new, is it going to catch on? It's just a little less powerful than 9mm. Well, I think the primary reason is because it is skinnier, that most handguns that you're running, if it's chambered in 9mm, then you're going to get another round or two within the same magazine. Here again, we're going to start at the butt pad. It's got that kind of a shock absorbing butt pad here at the rear. Got a nice little area here to get a consistent cheek weld. The one thing Hi-Point always does right for their carbine is their sights. Really nice adjustable rear sight, got a peep, windage and elevation, really plainly marked with yellow graduation. And then you got a front post. A few years ago, I did a review when Hi-Point come out with their carbine in 380 on it. And a lot of people said, well, why in the world would you do that? And you know, my rebuttal to that was, well, if your primary carry gun is a 380 and you've got 380 ammunition on hand, plenty of it, you've already picked out your favorites, then it would just make sense to have a carbine for like home defense, self-defense in that very same cartridge. With the ability, with all these Picatinny rails, you can mount lights, lasers, whatever accessories you see fit. And I think a lot of people understood that. The 30 Super Carry right now, it seems to be the new hotness. Is it going to hang around? I mean, that remains to be seen. I think I don't know, y'all. I mean, what do you think? It's a brand new cartridge. It shows a lot of potential, and as time goes by, that potential is certainly going to increase. A lot of us are not gun people. A lot of people are going to buy a gun, and they don't really care so much about what it looks like or what the name is. Is it reliable? Is it accurate? Can I shoot it? Fine. That's all I want. They're going to look at it as a tool. While it is going to be a tool, you know, myself, there's a lot of romance involved with firearms, and I look at some, you know, guns, and I have a deep affection. But believe it or not, there's folks out there that don't. And so a lot of people that buy the sidearm and 30 Super Carry may not care to have a safe full of guns, but they're going to want some kind of carbine for home defense, self-defense, what have you. And here again, that same logic applies off the 380. Why bother? Well, I've already got all this ammunition for the 30 Super Carry. I like this cartridge. I carry it. Might as well get a carbine in the same caliber, keep it around the house. I got just over 100 rounds through this carbine. Some ball and defensive ammunition. Through that 100 rounds, I know that's not a whole lot, but 30 Super Carry ammo is a little hard to come by right now. But through that 100 rounds and 5 or 6 different shooters, there were no malfunctions, there were no misfeeds, there were no problems with the gun. It was 100% reliable. You know, we did some informal target shooting with it out at 30 yards, offhand. It was grouping, 3 inches. What most people said about this that they liked the most was, the shootability, how much fun it was, especially with a can on it. You know, take that shootability, that fun factor, that translates into, think about somebody like my mom, bless her heart, she's 80 years old, she's 5 foot tall, she's about 100 pounds. Now, you know, she carries every day, she's got a concealed carry handgun, and she's proficient with it, and she decides she wants a carbine for her home, or somebody that's either recoil sensitive or they don't have the upper body strength of, you know, the average person. Something like this would also be ideal because it is easy to shoot, it's easy to wield, it's not heavy. So there's a lot to be said for a carbine like this. And there's a lot of gun snobs out there that goes, I wouldn't have nothing from High Point, I don't give a damn, this, that, and the other. And we address this in every review. And if that's how you are, that's fine. But I always say that, you know, the gun community is pretty small, and it seems like we're getting attacked on all angles. So really the last thing we should be doing is fighting amongst ourselves. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But don't disparage somebody else because they like it. Does that make sense? So anyway, I'm not going to drone on and on about it. It was a lot of fun to shoot. It was reliable. It was very well received in my shooting circles. And there's really, you know, there's not a whole lot else to be said. I believe it's pretty practical, especially if you carry something chambered in 30 super carry. Now you can marry a carbine with that. If you got any more questions or comments, there's always going to be an article on rangehot.com. You can jump over there, which I'm going to link in the description below. Read that article. That's going to have all the technical specifications and all that stuff in there as well. And there's a comment section. You got any comments? You got a question? You think I glossed over something? You got an opinion of the 30 super carry? Educate me on it. Do you think it's going to hang around? Let me know. I love getting information. You know, we've got a pretty good brain trust that we've built here around rangehot.com, I feel like. And a lot of the reviews that I do, people post comments, and I learn a lot. So I appreciate that tremendously. So anyway, I want y'all to take care of yourselves and each other. I look forward to seeing you at the range.